We present a new bridging graft using a Plantaris autograft. This is 52 years old man's right shoulder. A hole was made in the middle of a footprint with a 6.5 mm reamer through a portal for suture anchor. The folded end of the graft was fixed with 4.75 mm sleeve lock. A Burbeek suture passer was inserted in line with the posterior edge of the irreparable portion of the cuff tear. First, one limb of the graft was passed in the articular to bursal direction, and the graft limb was retrieved through the posterior portal. For the second passage, the bird beak was reloaded with the thread through the posterior portal and passed through the cuff at 1 cm anterior from the first passage, in the bursal to articular direction. A transverse loop was made on the bursal surface of the cuff. For the third passage, the passed graft limb was repassed to bursal side just medial to the transverse loop to complete a modified Mason-Allen stitch. The lateral fixation point was determined by checking the position of the tip of the graft limb to the extent that excessive tension was not applied to the rotator cuff. A lateral pilot hole for 5.5 mm sleeve lock was made using a punch at the point with minimal tension. The first limb of the graft was engaged to its desired position with the sleeve lock. After the graft and device were fully engaged, the pre-threaded sutures were cut. This procedure was repeated with the other graft limb. A Burbeek suture passer was inserted and the other limb of the graft was passed in the articular to bursal direction. The limb was passed in the bursal to articular direction for the second passage. The final passage to bursal side was performed just medial to the transverse loop and a modified Mason-Allen stitch was completed. In the meantime, the threads were ruptured during the passage through the cuff, so we replaced those with fiber wires. The second limb was engaged to the pilot hole on the lateral humerus surface. This is the scene after Plantaris graft fixation was completed. Usually, the anterior and posterior margin of the tear were repairable, so conventional transosseous equivalent cuff repair was performed. This is the last arthroscopic scene after our new surgery for irreparable rotate cuff tear.